What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, the podcast on the...
Hosted by two gamers. For you, the true gamers.
I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. Bro, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm actually doing really poorly. I've relapsed.
You've relapsed? Oh, no. Okay, here we go.
Gaming.
Yes.
Haven't started yet, but some of you may know I had a pretty savage World of Warcraft addiction.
Oh, no.
They came out with a new expansion, and I wasn't interested. World of Warcraft's been bad for a really long time.
Oh, no.
And it looks like it's pretty good. And now I've been scratching the itch by watching other people play it, which at least isn't me like giving into the addiction.
Right.
It's like the difference between watching World's series of poker and like losing all your life savings at a casino.
Right.
Kind of scratches that itch.
And of course, when you do that, you have no urge to actually complete the act.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is why I downloaded the game to check if my characters were still there. I just wanted to see. I'm not addicted. I can quit any time. I just wanted to see if they're still there. I just wanted to know.
I just downloaded Tinder to make sure.
Just in case, to check my girlfriend was on.
Yes, to check that you were.
Which takes a lot of swiping to get to all the girls, but. So. And the worst thing as well is like, this is how bad it was. I'm a bit concerned because I did have a proper addiction. Yeah. So I woke up in the middle of the night, like literally 3 a.m, and couldn't get back to sleep.
Azeroth, what's it called?
I mean, that's kind of fancy, but you're like closing in on those sorts of fancy
Azeroth, wait.
How did you know that?
I'm pretty
impressed.
From one episode of The Big Bang Theory where they mentioned it.
I'm impressed.
Azeroth.
You end up with all sorts of weird knowledge you don't need. Like when you're getting into 40k, you know like creation myth.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know like the stuff you need to know. You don't need to know about the Necrons.
Let me tell you about the Necrons. I'm just going to say
it. You don't need to know any of that. You don't need to know any of that.
Please continue. Go.
Anyway, it's 3 a.m, and I'm like, bored, can't get back to sleep. What if I just download the client? Like it would be nice to play a while. If I had a few hours to kill and I couldn't sleep, I would probably play a while. That'd be a great time to do it. I'm not supposed to be doing anything else. It's time I'm awake anyway. I'll just download the client.
I'll just hang out with the drug dealer. It's not.
I'll just check, I said, if my stuff's there and see what my situation might be if I was to return. Like, how much gold do I have left? Are my characters still there? None of them exist anymore.
Oh, really?
Which means I would get to start fresh. And there's
hold on. Oh, the use of language there was very...
hypothetically, I would have to start.
No, you didn't say it like that, though, did you? You didn't have to imply as this is a chore. You did say I get to.
There would be an element of Also, they made the whole process so much easier. Back in when I played in the originals, it took the average person, it would take you about 50 hours to get to end game level, about level 60, somewhere a few days of gameplay.
Right.
There was the world record guy beat it in 23 hours. He got from start to finish to it. So that's how long it was. Apparently now it's 5 to 10 hours to get to a brand new character to 70, and then that's where you start the new content, and then another 5 to 10 hours to level cap and end game stuff, which is basically nothing.
Yeah.
Especially because I know all of my rotations as a frost mage, and I can AoE pull all my mobs. And back in the day, I made my character because I thought he looked cool, and it wasn't the best race stats.
Okay.
Undead's better for mage. As it happens in PvP, don't worry about it. If you don't know any of this stuff, I was a troll mage because I thought it looked funny, and it isn't ideal for PvP, and I'm a PvP whore. So I would be able to hypothetically.
You'd get to
re-roll the mage anyway, the way I wanted it.
Brother, I'm going to tell you now.
Do you want to join me?
I was going to say, this isn't bro, I was just checking out, how's it going? See how apparently it's doing well.
Yeah.
This is bro, I'm on the edge of a cliff. I'm about to fall.
Hypothetically, it's a few hours. It's one solid Baldur's Gate 3 session. And I'd be having to start from level 1 anyway. So, if you wanted to give it a shot, now's the perfect time. Also, even if I was playing and you wanted to give it a shot, I would 100% reroll a new character to jam with you, so you don't have to worry about it.
Unfortunately, you've come at the worst time possible.
Okay.
Because I had a guest come over, one of my girlfriend's cousins, who is a girl about the same age and whatnot. And what is the game that girls around my girlfriend's age play religiously?
Oh, God. The Sims.
The Sims. And she is huge on The Sims and all the mods and shit like that, and introduced all the mods to my girlfriend. So I basically have lost my PC to my girlfriend. So I can't even play WoW, even if I wanted to.
Suggestion.
Go on.
Just tell her it's a mod pack. Oh. And it's a brand new Sims experience.
This is actually Sims, babe. Don't worry. It says
where you
World
take
of Warcraft.
over one Sim, but in a fancy setting, and you get to like learn magic or learn how to fight with a sword. It's crazy.
I came up here just to like check on her and whatnot, and she's like deep into the gamer girl, like I'm focused, laser focused in there.
It's got like one leg up on the chair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I came in with some snacks. I even made a little video of it.
Over.
You can see it on Instagram. I came in with some snacks. I was like, babe, I got you some snacks. And I hid a bottle of water behind the snacks. Yeah. And I was like, because you know how girls are. They don't drink water. Gaming as well. Yeah, you just don't drink it or you're hydrated enough. And I'm like, I bought you some snacks, but you do have to drink the water. And as you can see, the water is completely sealed over there, not touched at all.
And snacks are fully eaten.
Fully, and yeah, this is how it is. What made the video worse is that all of my Monster cans are around the PC, so it makes it look like she's deep into
it. She's a caffeine fiend.
It's so funny. But yeah, I have basically lost the PC to her, and I'm still in my Baldur's Gate hype.
Baldur's Gate's still incredible.
And I'm still midway through my thing. I just got to the camp just before we get into Baldur's Gate. So I can see Baldur's Gate in the distance. Yeah. And it's getting interesting, and she's taken over the PC. I was like, fuck, God damn it. I'm going to have to, like, I don't know, attempt to give her slightly above average wiener, so maybe she passes out and goes to sleep.
That's it.
But I've never been able to.
Okayest wienering.
Okayest, but I've never been able to do that, so.
Yeah, well.
Terrible.
It's because you spend all your time edging me. So, what are you doing in Baldur's Gate 3? What class are you?
I am a paladin. That's right. Yeah, cool. And it's going really fun. I do like the idea that I'm even in our D&D group, which hasn't fully come out yet. I like to play as the good guy. Yeah. And the guy that's got like a set of rules and a set of oaths and whatnot. Yeah. Obviously, it's interesting when those oaths are tested. Yeah. It's very much the Superman story because it's just what interests me. And I'm doing it the same way in here.
Superman's just a paladin that can fly.
Exactly. And I really, really enjoy that kind of gameplay. And that's how I'm playing it, as a good guy who's trying to do good, trying to steer people away from evil. Yeah. And I even did it by accident. So, spoilers if you haven't played.
It's been out for a year.
It's been out for a very long time. The Shadowheart storyline, where she wants to become the Dark Justiciar. I got to the point where we got up to the Night Song and she had the spear and she was told by Shah to kill the Night Song. And I was like, this seems like a really important thing to you, so I kind of want to let you do it. Yeah. I didn't tell her to do it, but I was like, you make the decision.
Yeah, you make the call.
You make the call. And she decided not to. And I was like, I'm kind of proud of you, because honestly, I didn't want you to kill anybody. Yeah. And especially in the name of God, that's just a weird thing to do, to like kill people in the name of God. I was like, so I'm quite proud of you. And I almost felt like my presence in the group sort of had an effect on everyone.
I'm pretty sure if you play it that way, it does. For the record. I think if you sort of more give into it, she's more likely to do it. I haven't actually tested it, but
I've seen some people with Shadowheart where Shadowheart has grey hair. Yeah. I don't know if that happens later on in the story, but I assume that this was the moment. Like, she becomes the Dark Justiciar, she kills birds, and like her whole look changes and whatnot. I'm like,
tell you. Because I do know.
Oh, okay. Well, that's how. Because obviously I'm going to play this multiple times and see and do things differently. But I was like, damn, that was really interesting to me. Because again, I chose not to interfere. I was like, I'm going to let her do her thing. Yeah. And everything seemed like she was going to do it until that very last moment where she chucked a spear into the chasm. And I was like, no way.
By the way.
Yeah.
Just F5 every time we come to these things.
Oh.
Yeah.
If there's ever a limit, I'm going to find it.
F5. Also, for the record, I know it sounds dumb, but like, I wait for that thing that says saving to go away. You know when it finishes, but it's still there. Technically, that's when it's done. I wait for it to stop saying.
It's weird. It's like the screen goes a little bit dark for a second, and you're like, "Oh, it's done," but it's still spinning in the corner.
I don't trust you.
And wait for the thing to come up and say,
okay,
"Cool,
okay. Press."
Now we're cool. I did beat Ketherick Thorn.
Yeah,
I did do that. So obviously now I'm over to the other side. Yeah. The giant mind came up from out of the thing. It's got the crown that they're controlling and whatnot. And those two other pricks that I'm gonna have to be one.
Deal with. Yeah.
Can't wait to beat the shit out of them. But it was quite cool. Cool.
Fun fact: one of those fights, I won't tell you which. So I've been playing it with a friend from my D&D group, the one I started like during COVID, during lockdown. And he was like, "Right, get ready for this, because it's a really tough fight." I slaughtered that guy, just dead in like 2 rounds.
Melted him.
I think accidentally got everything right. They're supposed to have, I think they all have like final forms, if you will, like Pokemon evolution sort of thing. This guy didn't get a chance. Immediately slaughtered. And he was like, "Well, did we save before?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Do you want to reload? Because that's not the way that's supposed to. It's supposed to be a really tough fight." And I was like, "Yeah, but now I know how to do it anyway."
It's still not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
The only thing that could happen is that maybe you miss a shot.
Yeah, it was. There's some great scenes though. Like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you. This game's excellent. I will say, I do think Baldur's Gate 3 is probably my #1 game.
It's really, really good. It's really, really good.
All things told, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of games I love, and they'll always have a special place in my heart. But I think I'm putting Baldur's Gate 3 at #1.
Yeah,
it's just that good. It's that good.
Speaking of great games,
yes,
at least I think. A game came out recently that has taken the fucking gaming world by storm.
It's done on the Elden Ring.
A Black Myth Wukong.
Yep.
A game where you play as a monkey.
Yep.
That can do all kinds of like crazy martial arts type shit and whatever. And there's magic, and it's basically like a really, really hard like Dark Souls type game. It's set in a like fantasy Chinese setting with all kinds of creatures and great artwork. I've seen tons of photos, and God, the place looks gorgeous.
It's a really good looking,
really good looking game. The enemies, as I said, like there's one of them. Zacchino sent me. He was fighting essentially a huge muscular tiger that was standing up on its legs like in human form, sort of like stance, in a pool of blood. And I was like, just...
Yeah, it looks great.
Everything there sounds great. Everything there sounds great. It sold 10 million copies, the first update that we got. Currently, it's sitting at an estimated between 13.7 and 16 million copies sold. Massive. The first day it was already at 2 million concurrent players on Steam.
Yeah, it's
blew past that to 2.4 in the next couple of days. This blew past every other game. Pal World, Elden Ring, CSGO, all that kind of stuff. The most played game ever.
Record sort of thing, yeah.
Amazing.
Have you seen all the controversy going on around it?
Yes.
So it's really stupid.
It's so stupid. I saw it when it first came out that there was like some mistranslations between some like words that were said and completely taken out of context. And some people went on their mission, games journalists as usual.
Of course.
Went on their mission to try and sabotage this game somehow. Talking about how it's like not anti-woman and stuff, not inclusive and stuff like that. All these crazy claims before the game even comes out. And then the game comes out, and obviously it does amazing because it's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
And that felt obviously quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Quite...
I know what you mean. It's satisfying, basically.
Yeah, quite satisfying to know.
That's not the word you're looking for.
The stupidity didn't prevail. That's the thing that I'm happy about there. But they haven't stopped trying, though.
No, they're really keen. I will tell you. So I do have a beef with the game, which is none of the it's in China, racism, sexism, and stuff. It's because the company's Chinese, and if I buy the game, I will be directly supporting the CCP. Like
that's the only issue, isn't it?
Chinese government, because they take such a huge cut.
Yeah,
it's nothing to do with the game company or any of that stuff, or that they're from China or any of that stuff. It's that I know for a fact. It directly, not in the way that, like, for example, if you buy a game from an American company, that company pays taxes, that goes to the States. It's not the same.
Yeah.
And so that I have a problem with. But otherwise, I would love to play the game. I think it looks like. Also, it's not my kind of thing. I don't think I would enjoy it.
This is definitely my kind of game. And if I not been knee deep in other games and other things like woodworking and stuff like that, and Baldur's Gate or not, I probably would be buying this game right now. It's only because there's so much going on in my life. But I get that feeling. It's just
it looks incredible.
It feels bad, unfortunately, that it's just linked to them. So.
Like. This is going to sound strange, but like an updated Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring very much felt like a Souls-like game. It feels FromSoft. It feels clunky. I can't find a better word for it. Yeah. And this feels polished and smooth.
There is something about... don't take my words out of context here. Elden Ring looks great.
Yeah.
It's not beautiful, like gloriously amazing and whatnot. Whereas... Every clip I've seen of this game, every screenshot I've seen of this game is just beauty beyond the eyes can see. And it's got all of those qualities of Elden Ring in it.
Yeah.
It is truly fantastic. I hear it's even harder than any Souls game that's ever been out there.
Yeah.
I will say, though, Zacchino is the one that told me that, and he's not really a gamer.
True.
So
plays on PC.
Yes. I mean, they can't really take any PC player seriously when they say something's hard.
Yeah. Facts.
Get off of mouse and keyboard, get onto a controller.
Right.
Done.
Duh.
Funny thing is, like he does this to me all the time in my messages, so I'm just doing it live on it to the tens of people that see us.
This seems like the sort of game that you'd want to play on controller anyway. I don't know why you would M&K this.
Yeah, it has to just be that mouse and keyboard is the only thing that you know.
I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. Which is strange that you've adapted that way and not any other way, but whatever. But anyway, great to see that it's doing good games are getting attention and people are enjoying themselves. Yeah. It's also good. I saw Hideo Kojima unboxing a special version that was dedicated to him directly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
And it was all kinds of... They even had one of the main character, you know the hot toys that I have?
Yeah.
Essentially like that, that's but like posable and stuff. Filled with great things, and that was so cool.
Do you ever watch any old school kung fu movies and stuff like that? Are you familiar with Wukong and like?
No, actually.
There's all sorts of weird things as well in the anime world. It's been a bit taken by storm because somebody came out and they're like, Goku was inspired by Wukong, and they're like, but Goku's from like 94, and this is from 2024. Like, did they get it back to front? It's like, this is one of China's myths. Like, this story's 4,000 years old or something like that. It's older than all of Western civilization. Shut the fuck up. No, definitely the other way around. But yeah, it's cool to see, like, do you ever watch Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball and stuff? You know, like, Goku has the pole that extends and stuff like that. That's exactly out of the myth.
Oh, that's actually good. I never put the two and two together until you just said it.
Goku has a tail and...
He has a tail.
But, like, it's the monkey god, the sun god, stuff like that. There's a few different variations and a few bad Western adaptations, but it's cool, and I'm glad to see that it's been done properly. Weirdly, I was not expecting the non-inclusive thing because it's a Chinese game. I was expecting people to be going the other way and like shoving down your throat, like it's so foreign.
This is the problem. This is the problem with when it's stupidity, when it's dishonest arguments you're making. It's all hypocrisy, and you can point out left, right, and center. Like, why are we talking about inclusivity and diverseness when you're playing as an animal?
Yeah, you're playing a literal monkey.
You're playing a literal monkey. You're fighting, like I said, a tiger in a pool of blood. All kinds of other creatures that are completely mythological, completely fancy. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Take your head out of your ass for 1 second and just realize what it is you're saying.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this proves what... This right here proves what we should all be doing every single time is just completely ignoring morons like that, morons that say stupid things, and continue playing whatever you want to play.
I totally disagree. I think they should go back, do God of War, Ragnarok, recast everybody as like Asian, Black, or Middle Eastern, because it's a Norse myth and we need to be inclusive.
It's the way it is. That's the way it is, unfortunately.
Ironically, the funny thing is, I'm campaigning to actually have Christopher Judge as Kratos. So
I remember when we said that, and people were like, "But he's black," and I was like,
"Shut the fuck up."
First of all,
how are we on the other side of this argument every time?
Right, every single time. It's almost like they actually wait for us to see it and they go, actually, I'm going to go opposite to you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Besides the point.
Anyway, congratulations to the guys over. It was Game Science, I think it is, Studios. You guys doing a great job.
It looks like they made an incredible game in every way possible. It looks like there's a really good story. The game's visually stunning. It looks smooth as anything. It's just the sort of game I wouldn't enjoy.
It isn't your type of game.
This is the sort of game just like Sifu, where I think I would play it and say it's an incredible game, 8, 9 out of 10. I fucking hated it. I hated Sifu, but I think it's really interesting to look at. It's an incredibly interesting mechanic.
Yeah.
If you enjoy those games, I think you'd really enjoy it. And I hated the experience. I hated every moment of it.
Speaking of Wukong, which apparently has an amazing opening.
Oh, really?
Apparently it's like super cinematic and everyone loves it and it's super cool. Jump over to a new game that I started.
Okay.
Ubisoft sent me a code for Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
And a game that I wasn't planning on purchasing, just because I was like, Ubisoft, they're usually not my kind of...
about the right price for me.
Ubisoft is not usually the company that I gel with all their games and whatnot. It's usually a bit boring for me.
All their company values, but yeah.
That as well. But it was Star Wars, so I was like, if you're going to give me a code, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, this is the one for me to try,
And I'll give people my honest opinion. And it was 5 days before the early access release that people had to pay $120 for. Yeah. So I was like, I could play a bit and give people some fair warning if it's bad, or if it's good, give it praise if it requires it. The opening to that game is one of the most boring things I've ever played.
I thought you were going to be like, I was ready to hate it.
Let me just put it this way. I have seen other people who I have no connection with, no prior knowledge of, say that the rest of the game they play is fantastic.
Okay.
I don't know. Now,
Conrad, by the way, one of our OGs, he's been playing it. He said it's been really good fun.
Okay, see?
So
that's someone at least I know. So maybe the rest of the game is good. But
he's also watched us for ages, so it's shit tier taste. Like, you guarantee the guy's got no taste.
Yeah, that's pretty
terrible takes.
That's a pretty solid mark against him.
Right. The only thing worse would be being you or me.
Yeah.
So
does he also watch James and Tyler and all that lot?
He does, and even worse, he turns up to my coding stream sometimes.
Oh man, he's got really
loser.
He's he likes pain. He's a sadist.
he really is. He really is.
Anyway, I played the first hour. My missus was on the computer, and I was like, I'll just play on the PS5 then. And I started it, and my God, it was so boring. Like, a game start is supposed to be really exciting and hook
it's that
you.
Ghost of Tsushima run. It's the Spider-Man swing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be something to get your adrenaline pumping and go, this is what you're going to be playing for the rest for the next like 10 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours.
Tonight.
Right.
Like, How am I ever going to sleep?
It starts off by a mildly interesting cutscene. It's about people you don't know backstabbing each other. You're like, okay, so something's going on here.
Sure.
And then it immediately goes into, you have to get your tools fixed before you can head out into the real world. So in order to get your tools fixed, you need to go down to the fixer guy over there.
Fetch quest straight away.
And you go over there and he's like, I'm not going to do you a favor. You need to bring me money. It's like, great. So now I need to learn, and then you need to learn the pickpocketing mechanic.
I need to write my CV and apply it to a job.
Basically, it's like you need to go around, you need to pick credits from people's pockets in the area, and then you pick the credits, and then you go and get your thing fixed, and then you're like, cool, now you need to go to so-and-so area so you can get a false identity card so you can leave planet. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, man? This isn't something I do right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Do like a massive chase scene. Do it like on a motorbike, a speeder or something like that. Yeah. Something to get my blood pumping.
Have her just scored the big score. This is it.
Right.
And then lose it all in the chase.
Right.
And then you sort of cut back in. Okay, well, I need to get off world because of the heist.
My God.
I need this, and this, but I have nothing.
It was just so plain boring.
That's really sad.
I'm going to continue playing because other people say it goes further. Again, it might get better as I go along. I can't confirm that. Other people have said it has. I'm looking forward to that. The main actress, the main lead and whatnot, she's been on Twitter and she's like she seems like a super nice person.
What's her name?
Oh God, it's actually something really strange as well. Like the Oh God,
Do you know what? I'll just Google it.
You Google it. Read it to me, and you'll understand what I mean by strange. I don't mean strange and foreign. I mean strange.
Yeah, right. Unusual.
How can I say that?
Right. What's this game called?
Star Wars Outlaws.
That's it. Let's find out. Oh God. What a weird mix. Humbly Gonzalez?
Humbly, yeah. A name Humbly. It's like, what? So you're very humble, I get it.
I will say as well, this is one take that I saw that I initially thought was stupid, but I do actually now, pondering on it, I do kind of agree. So people were talking about Wukong being like sexist or something, right?
Right.
And then someone said...
Fucking monkeys and tigers.
Yeah. Like somebody said, here are the women that are in it, and they're models.
Oh,
and they're stunning.
I saw,
obviously gorgeous models, and the models are gorgeous, the women are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then someone actually put up this, and they said, this is the actress that plays in Star Wars Outlaws, and this is her model. If anybody's sexist, it's us, because you have a gorgeous, incredibly talented, first of all, first focus, incredibly talented.
Yeah.
And gorgeous person, and you turn her into that, and that looks fine. If that was what she looked like, I'd be very comfortable with it. But she's actually gorgeous.
It just seems that they do this like scan of her, and then they're like, okay, now we're going to modify it to make it look worse. It seems strange. Not that that should be a focus of anything, but for some reason, it's their focus to make them look worse. I don't know why they're focusing on that.
The reality is, we all want... Well, this is going to get really... I'm going to try and avoid the political thing. Yeah. There's the male take is you and me, we went to see Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. We see the scene with Hugh Jackman, we go, I need to get in shape. Yeah. We don't go unrealistic body style. Of course it's unrealistic. It's Superman. I want to look like Superman. That's my goal, is to reach an unattainable peak. And Batman, stunningly good looking billionaire. Superman, stunningly good looking invincible alien.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, stunningly good looking jet pilot who gets alien powers, right? Like, it's okay. Wonder Woman, gorgeous princess, half demigod of, the Amazonians. Like, it's okay to have unrealistic standards. It's a video game. Yeah. Bayonetta's a perfect example of it, where, yes, it's unrealistic. Obviously, it's unrealistic.
Yeah.
But that's the fun, because it's a video game. That's what makes Batman and Superman fun. Because you know what happens if you fight criminals every single day?
Yeah.
First of all, you get stabbed within day 1 or 2. And second of all, like, think about how rough you feel after a big session in the gym.
Yeah.
And then think about you having to swing from a grappling hook across rooftops and
your entire body weight hanging from
someone hits you with a car and stuff. Like, it's not like it's unrealistic. Of course it is. So I think it's a bit strange to take such a talented person and then specifically make the model not look like her. And interestingly enough, if we're going to go with the diversity or whatever, the character model's white, but the actress is presumably
Hispanic, I guess.
Hispanic.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting pick.
It's funny. As I said, this is what I mean when we go, when it comes to these stupid arguments that these people make, whether it's direct arguments or decisions like this, you can always point out the hypocrisy, because they will complain if you go like Bayonetta, for example, where you make the model look like extremely sexy or something like that, but then they will explicitly do the opposite in the opposite direction. But like, yeah, but that's the same thing. You're just doing it in the opposite direction.
The thing that, and this is it, is I don't like hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And the reason is because, one, it's inconsistent. Like, we're really consistent. I want the best person doing the thing and make it look cool. And that's my underlying theory. Like, my, not like I'm pitching my Twitch, but my Twitch rules, one rule: straight out Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other. That's the rule. It covers everything. I know. What about racism? Is that being excellent? No, don't do it.
Exactly.
What about homophobia? What about trans? All of it. Be excellent.
It's all under the same umbrella.
Like, it's literally, that's the rule. Yeah. That's the rule. And that's why it bugs me, because they'll say, well, this isn't the thing, but this other thing that's totally different, but I like the guy that made it. That's great. So these things are the same. Yeah. You like one of them and not the other. Like, let's just be consistent. Is it good? Is it a good product? Yes. Okay. Hypothetically, were Ubisoft to make an incredible game, I would go, this is an incredible game. I don't like the company, but this game's incredible. You gotta, like, be honest about things.
Yeah.
There can be something that I hate, make something that's excellent. right? Like China won a lot of gold medals. Yeah. They do really well at the Olympics. You got to give it to them. I don't like the government.
Yeah.
They do some really, really awful stuff.
Really awful.
But they have great athletes and incredible food and gorgeous countryside and incredible, like the culture's incredible and amazing history. Like there's incredible things about a currently shitty other thing, you know? Like we can be honest and adult about this stuff and say, these things are excellent. However, this was missed. Or these things are excellent, but I think they missed an opportunity to highlight X.
Yeah.
It just bugs me. Or God of War's excellent. The only person that can play him is Christopher Judge. You know, in this one case, it makes perfect sense to not have a Greek guy be it because Christopher Judge is so perfect. Yeah. Greece had colonies in Africa. It isn't too hard to get a black guy to be in Sparta.
And then again, he's covered completely in white ash.
And he's covered in white ash the entire time.
It's almost like it was made perfectly. It's like we have the perfect escape.
It's literal whiteface. And we get Christopher Judge as like it's perfect. It's perfect. If we had to work any harder than that, it wouldn't be perfect.
Yeah.
But it is. Same as, for example, let's say you had a voice actor in a game who's an incredible on-screen actor and voice actor, let's say Sam Witwer, as an example, who played a character. Hypothetically, I'd probably cast him in the role for the live action because he's an actor and the literal voice and face of the character.
Maybe.
Just as an example. But what do I know?
What do you know? What do you know?
I'm not like these Hollywood elites who wrote Game of Thrones season 8. So, just saying.
Back to Star Wars Outlaws.
Yes. I really hope you play more of it, and I hope it becomes a really good game.
I hope so too. However, there is a big issue.
Oh, God.
So,
what?
The game is clearly sacrificing some resolution and stuff like that.
Okay.
The game runs stable-ish. A lot of people are experiencing bugs.
Okay.
The game is quite blurry.
Sure.
And they have made sacrifices to the main character's character model. Hence, you might see some pictures online of her looking like an alien, basically, because it's not great. But what's made it worse is that literally yesterday, Ubisoft put out a tweet to let people know that PS5 players should install the latest update and erase their save files and start again from the beginning. Because if they continue on their current save, you will experience game-breaking bugs further down the line. And
that's not good.
That's not good. And do you know what? And the worst part is that I had literally complained the day before about how boring the opening was on Twitter. And I was like, you want me to play that boring ass opening again?
I actually have a suggestion for you. I want to make a suggestion for you. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And play, and you'll get to know what an average playthrough, as me, feels like.
Because you experience all the bugs.
All of the bugs. And also, fantastically, quite a lot of them have been caught on stream.
There you go.
And like people have seen bugs, but I didn't even know it was a bug. Like, no one's ever experienced. You're the first person.
Me,
I literally like Cal Kestis getting into the ship and the ship taking off and Cal staying on the planet. Stuff like that.
It's like, where are you going? I've come back.
You know all those funny things you saw from like what was the thing where you fight the bugs and the automatons? Helldivers.
Yes.
You know you saw some of those funny bugs. Yeah. But you're like, it wasn't expected to be great and there's millions of people playing. Of course there'll be issues. Those sorts of the best bits of those every single time I play a game. So you get to experience it.
Yeah, so now I have to either continue playing the game and then come across a game breaking bug and then that'll kill me.
Yeah.
Or I restart and I play the boring ass intro again and waste another hour and a half of my life.
That sucks. Do you know what's funny? I was looking for those screenshots you were talking about. I didn't find any, but I clicked on one. And I mean, I think the game looks good. That looks good.
Visually, that's the thing. I've seen some people post great screenshots. Now,
but then
you can always frame things well, but I'm like,
I read the title, and this comes from an article that is Star Wars Outlaws Review, a perfectly okay bit of Star Wars.
Oh, that's
not what I was hoping.
You can get the undertones there. It's not so great there.
That's not ideal. Yeah, it's weird. Some of these look really. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as good for some of them, but it looks Star Wars. It looks okay.
Yeah.
I really hope it pans out to be a good game.
I hope it does too. It's one reason is because I really don't want the conversation to devolve down to, because this is the thing, the conversation right now isn't gender related, isn't anything like that. The game is just coming out. When things go bad, people tend to blame gender.
Female protagonists.
And I'm like, you can't only do that when it's bad. When sometimes the game is bad because it's bad, and you need to take it on the chin and just move on.
Yeah, sometimes you have...
If there is genuine stuff there, then all right, cool. But don't blow it out of proportion as well, like Disney does, where, you get dickheads all on the internet all the time. They find two people that say something dumb and they're like, well, that's it. They said this is the entire fan base.
Yeah.
It's like, for fuck's sake.
Like, sometimes you make a bad game, like Forspoken, and people complain about it, and the bad game has a female protagonist.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's a bad game. And no matter what the protagonist was, it's still a bad game.
Yeah.
And people get away from that. People try and use weird sorts of excuses. Or like you say, they see one person going, well, I didn't want to play as a bracelet-wearing woman anyway.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, well, that person's an idiot.
Yeah.
But also the game still sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Let's talk about opening night live at Gamescom. Jeff Keighley's show that he puts on. He loves putting on his shows. He does.
He's a big fan of it.
And there were a few announcements there. I didn't get to watch this live, but I did watch it again afterwards. And I got to watch it through, I can't remember what website I watched it through, but there was one where they had a camera where they would cut to the audience to show their reactions to certain things as it was going along, which I thought was interesting. However, there was a lot of boring announcements and it just made it look worse, which is really bad. So one of them, for example, was Borderlands 4 was teased at the opening night live Gamescom show. You can tell that they were planning on the movie being fantastic and they were making this game in preparation for that and then ride off of the wave of that. But because the movie was apparently awful, I haven't seen it myself, apparently awful, the cut to the audience was like, oh shit, nobody cares. Oh god.
I heard.
And the last game apparently wasn't good, apparently.
So Borderlands 2 was really good.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3 was a bit disappointing. And I heard from a guy who, like, his only Borderlands is Borderlands 2 and 3. The movie, calling it, what did you say? It was...
I said bad.
Yeah, it was very polite. His words were quite a lot stronger. Oof. And I mean, yeah.
As I said, I haven't seen it myself, so I can't confirm, but I've seen a lot of people say it was just awful. Even a guy that I know who gets access to all these like movies, like premieres and stuff like that, who is a overly positive guy.
Yeah.
Even he was like, this wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, shit, for you to say that, that's bad.
Savage.
That's so, Jesus, calm down.
Damn.
Worse than the Hideo Kojima.
Stop hate criming this.
Why are you attacking it, bro? It's almost like the Hideo Kojima, I saw Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Captain Marvel is a movie that was made. I love those. Like, if you can't say something nice, those like... Captain Marvel is a movie that was made in 2024.
Yes.
And it showed at cinemas. People did see the movie.
It was on a screen. I was sitting in a chair.
Yep. And Brie Larson was in the movie.
I can confirm that.
She is an actress in the movie. It was a movie.
I love how universally, I don't think he's never said anything, but it's just the stark contrast between like watching Mad Max Fury Road and him going, it's amazing, a paragraph, 2 tweets, 3 tweets, and then when it comes to that thing, it's like, we've now detected that this is the review scale.
Yeah.
However many more words there are in it, that's how good it is. If he doesn't say anything,
I saw a movie.
And everyone in the chat, they're just like, ooh,
damn,
jeez.
It's a 4-letter sentence. Holy shit. Like,
scathing review.
Bad. Oh, God. He actually said it was bad.
Damn, he said it this time. Anyway, we'll see what Borderlands 4 turns out to be. It was literally just a teaser of the mask. That was all it was.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Dune Awakening, the MMO game.
Yeah.
They showed it off. It looked okay. However, the comments, I checked the comments on the YouTube video.
Okay.
Not looking hot.
Really?
So I haven't seen Dune the movies. One of my great failings. Have you seen any of them?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. They're using a lot of guns in it. Do they use a lot of guns in Dune?
It's not a well-phrased question. It's not how... Dune doesn't focus on guns. I will say that. Okay. Guns are a thing.
That was one of the comments in the thing. They were like, why would you make a game, a Dune game, where you focused on firearms? And I was like, okay, maybe they don't use it there. I don't know.
Yeah, one of the big things about Dune is that they have personal shields and they work on velocity. So you may have heard the slow knife penetrates, is an expression nerds will say. And that's because of the personal shields, they go back to swords because you can get through the shield because it resists velocity. Right. So it'll save you from lasers. It'll save you from bullets. And there's all these weird assassination tools. So like in one of the movies, they tried to use like a little robo bug with a poison needle that can fly in and sting you because your shield won't protect you from it.
Okay, cool.
So guns do exist. They're a great weapon.
Right.
But like they've been adjusted. So like there's a great scene, I think it's in Dune 1, where some ships get attacked and they drop bombs and the bombs stop before they hit the ship, and then they have retro thrusters and then they slowly drop onto the shields and then blow up because of the shield. So it's very... Yes, I would agree that guns are not a big part of it. It's hard to explain though.
I get it, I get it.
Without saying all of that, it's hard to explain.
Yeah. It doesn't look so great graphics-wise, I'm not going to lie. Now, there's a lot of like open spaces because like a lot of it is like desert and like dunes and stuff like Dune. I get it.
It's literally a desert planet.
Exactly. But the characters don't look too hot as well. It does look like they're making a lot of sacrifices to try and make the world like big. But the biggest thing is that people aren't excited because they would much rather a single-player story game for Dune. And I kind of have to agree. I mean,
I would agree as well.
I think that would be much, much better. But anyway, it's happening. It's coming out. Get ready for that.
I did hear one thing which is true to the feel of the IP. But so if you get eaten by one of the worms, you lose everything.
Ooh.
That's the big... You go back to the start. You got to redo everything. I think you don't have to remake the character, but like... when you spawn back in, you have nothing. Which they were saying, like, you know, it's... I'm not going to go too nerdy on it, but, like, they're the big thing on the planet. If you get got by one of them, like, it should cost you something. And that will be interesting the first time that it happens. If it ever happens again, I think I wouldn't stop playing overall.
I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah, like...
They did say that there's bases and stuff like that, so maybe you lose everything that's currently on you and you don't...
Yeah.
Which like, it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, you say that, but when you get fully geared up to go to a PvP event and someone knocks you off a cliff and you get eaten by a thing and you lose all your good stuff...
There was a bit at the end of the trailer where they basically showed, because I know just from seeing clips and stuff online, that the way that those things come, those worms, they react to like sound, right? Like you're hitting on the thing. Yeah. So there's this one thing that this guy sets up and he puts it into the ground and then it like thumps and whatnot, and then this giant worm came out of the ground. So you can like call upon it, which is quite cool.
They're a great series of books, and the movies are, well, let me rephrase that, the new movies are really good. The old movies are... old movies.
Are they old movies?
They are. They are old movies. They are movies that were made before they were new.
Give me a Hideo Kojima review of the old movies.
That's the best I could do, to be honest. Like,
they are movies.
They are movies. They are. They were movies that were made before new movies got made.
They are factually correct.
The new ones are pretty good. I think with all things movie... from book adaptations, stuff gets missed and things like that.
Yeah.
Like you just don't have enough time, and there's people like this was one. They recast a couple of notable characters. One, I forget his name originally. He's a doctor, was like an old white guy. Okay. So he's described in the books how he was in the original movies. Now a black chick. I don't give a shit. It's a fictional movie set 10,000 years in the future. I just couldn't care less. But equally, I get why some people might, but the newer movies are pretty good. They're nice, good, high budget. Cool. They look good. They're relatively true to things. I think, actually, ironically, I'd say they move a bit faster than they should, but they're worth watching. They're pretty good. Because Dune inspired almost all of the sci-fi that you could think of. and a lot of story writing as well. So
cool.
They're good movies. But I agree. This is a game I would play. I don't think.
Yeah.
Just not it.
The next thing that they showed was something called Secret Level. Have you heard of this?
No.
I've sent you a text message of a trailer. Let me read the blurb for you. Yeah. Secret Level is an upcoming American adult animated anthology series.
Okay.
Created by Tim Miller for Amazon Prime Video. It's produced by Blur Studios and Amazon MGM Studios. Dave Wilson executive produces and serves as a supervising director. It will consist of 15 stories set,
I have heard of this.
set in the worlds of different video games.
Yeah.
And the list of video games are all of the best ones, including some PlayStation titles in there like God of War and Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Has Warhammer 40k in there. All these great games. Mega Man, stuff like that.
I forgot what it was called.
And
I have seen this, yeah.
I saw the trailer. I'm like, I am down. It's apparently coming out this December. We're going to see this show. I am extremely excited.
Yeah, it looks good.
Extremely excited because... Don't get me wrong, like we have our own trepidations of like video game stuff going into TV shows and movies and whatnot. But I feel like when it's really small like this, like one episode each, I think it's just right, just enough to get you.
You should watch Edrunners, Cyberpunk Edrunners.
Yeah,
it's 10 episodes.
But if I cut out the intro and the outro, then
hardly anything. But equally, that's the exact thing I would have said about that. Is it's small, it's short. There's enough of it to tell one story well and show us some stuff in the world. Same with this. It's short. You get one taster. Also, by the way, Space Marine 2.
Yes,
I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't been excited about a game really for a while.
They showed a trailer of Fear, and it looked really great. And because I've obviously done a lot of research into the Warhammer 40k universe, those YouTubers are popping up with videos of the game. I'm like, shit, now I'm in it. It does look really good, and it is co-op.
I know. Rob, friend of the show, sent me a text. He was like, by the way, we're playing Space Marine 2. It wasn't like, are you interested? It's like, we're playing Space Marine 2. So
I guess we're doing it.
Yeah, so... yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. I hope the campaign's good. And co-op's always going to be fun. I mean, this will be your first 40k type game, won't it?
Hope it's good.
First of all, it better be good.
Yeah.
Second of all, if it is good, it's not optional for you. You're going to have to play it. Yeah. You're going to need you to play it.
Yeah.
Typically, though, I will say I played a few 40k games, like Fire Warrior back in the day, if anybody played that. I enjoyed it. They were games I enjoyed a lot. They were not particularly well received. But I hope it's good. Things like Darktide and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those have been quite well loved. So
I've heard a lot about those.
I'm hoping that 40k type games are like...
Darktide is more of an RTS, isn't it?
I think it's more of like a Horde wave type.
Is it?
It's not for me, so I never really looked into it. Is it Darktide? There's a 40k one and a fancy one. Let me check it. Darktide, yeah. Yeah, Darktide's 40k. I think it's a wave survivor. Let's see, what does Steam say?
Shooter, fighting game, role-playing game. It doesn't say anything about it, so...
It says... Take back the city of Tertium from hordes of bloodthirsty foes. This intense, brutal action shooter.
Oh, it's a first... Wait, hold on.
I think it's first person, but I think it's a wave survival type.
Yeah. Okay, it's first person. Okay, maybe I just completely misunderstood it then. Okay, cool.
But this is doing really well. And Vermintide's the 40k one. And sorry, the fantasy one. And Darktide is the 40k one. But I would love 40k to become a bit more mainstream. Not from a... I don't want the casuals and normies to take it. I want it to stay quirky and dark and horrible. I don't want it to be like more inclusive. The point of it is there are no good guys. The best you get is space Nazis.
Yeah.
That's the best you get. Everything else is like super mega double evil space Nazis. It's aliens that want to enslave you. It's aliens that want to eat you. It's aliens that are actually magic mushrooms that just want to fight you. Like, that's the best you get is space Nazis. So it's supposed to be grimdark. It's really supposed to be. So as long as that stays that way, I'll be really happy for more people to know about it.
Let's see.
And I'm hoping
it's unfortunate because you feel like I get the feeling that you're getting that sometimes it's just you think, oh, this is gonna be too dark for them to go mainstream, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna tone it down, right? That's what they're gonna do, right? But then that's taking away from what it is.
Yeah, it's sort of like The Witcher. The show wasn't quite as dark and brutal as the games and books made it out to be, which wasn't too bad for season 1, but then they got really far away from that, and it got more high fantasy and less like dark on the road, you know, getting stabbed with a pitchfork from a villager that didn't want to pay you, like in the dirt, in the muck, in the gutters, which is what makes The Witcher so interesting. So I really hope that they keep that. The point is that you have like religious stagnation that's all misunderstood. Like, you know about the Mechanicum, right? They do like religious rites. It's just like turn it off, turn it on again. Like knowing where things go, but it's taught in a religious way.
Yeah.
Which means that you can't really improve because
you don't really understand how it works.
But also, if you make an improvement, are you saying that your current God and holy text isn't correct?
Yeah.
So like, and you're like, that's how it goes.
They've got themselves in a catch-22. Like a lot of religion.
Right. So that, I think, needs to be maintained because it's it's because the world is so flawed, the universe is so flawed, everything is so flawed that you catch these moments of excellence from like guardsmen that are in impossible positions that do incredibly brave things or incredibly unusual things, or space marines who, by the way, I'm concerned that the show's going to make them seem like there's a lot of them. They're rare. Yeah. They're few and far between. Space Marines is like, it's a big deal for Space Marines there, right? And then even more so if it's a Terminator, even more so if it's like a Grey Knight or a Custodes, right? Like most people have sorry, 40k nerding here. The Imperium's like trillions of people. Yeah. And it's probably in the few thousands of people that have seen Space Marines. It's a low number. It's a very low number. Maybe 100,000, maybe, right? Unless you're like on a planet fighting the Space Marines there. But most of those guardsmen die. Like guardsmen get spent very quickly. So, and also depending on who you're with, if Chaos is there, there's sort of an unwritten rule that no guardman lives, they can't report that Chaos exists sort of thing. Because of just the way the propaganda goes. So like those guys don't live. Yeah. So there's not a lot of people that have seen Space Marines like in person, in the flesh.
We'll see how it goes. That's an interesting thing. I think they probably will keep, because it's like an interesting thread. The only thing that will...
Have you started reading or listening to Eisenhorn?
No, not yet.
I think you'd really enjoy it.
I think I will as well. I think it's going to be the right hook for me. Anyway, let's not go any
Sorry, yeah, if I could nerd out about 40k all day.
The next thing they showed at Opening Night Live, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So they showed another trailer for it. It looked just like before, very fun, very Indiana Jones.
It does look fun. It doesn't look good, but it does look fun, if that makes sense.
I think they're being skillful with what they're showing.
I think you're right.
However, we have to wait and see. We cannot judge.
It was a trailer that was shown.
I think we'll have to wait and see, okay? They gave a release date, 9th of December. And immediately on stage, after they showed that, they said, oh, but we've got one more thing for you. And it says, also coming to PlayStation 5 in early spring 2025.
Okay.
This is the first time that Xbox has shown off a video game, a first-party video game, and within the same breath, mention the release date as well for
their
PlayStation 5.
Primary competitor. Their real competitor.
Their only real competitor, but now let's be honest, their only real customer base. Because the other guys, the reason why they're going to PlayStation is because they're not getting any customers on the other on their own platform.
This is sort of like BMW bringing out a car, being like, by the way, all of our keys compatible with Audi.
Yeah. If you got an Audi key at home, you're cool.
Yeah, you don't even need to buy the key. You could use it in your BMW.
Just use it.
Like, that's sort of what this is. It's not great.
It's a massive blow for Xbox. As much as Phil Spencer wants to get on stage afterwards and say, "Oh, you know, we're trying to make it go everywhere. We're trying to make it go everywhere." This wasn't by choice. This was completely by force. You had no other option. Yeah. Which is fine. Look, everyone's going to get to play it now, which is great. Everyone should play those games. That's cool.
We all play, we all win.
We all play, we all win, bro.
And also, it's on my controller. Don't forget, there's no future in which somebody specifically sells their PS5 to buy an Xbox.
Exactly.
So we gave up. Yeah. Oh, wait, that's not how the quote goes. That's just what he actually meant.
That's what he meant. That's the bit he didn't say out loud. It's funny because literally, like, I think it was 6 months earlier, he was at that round table where they were talking about, was it 4 games that were coming to PlayStation 5? I can't remember for the life of me what those games were. Hi-Fi Rush was one of them. The rest of them I don't know.
You mean the award-winning studio?
Award-winning studio that they threw away and sold someone else. They go, amongst those 4 games, Starfield and Indiana Jones are not those.
Yeah.
And I was
Starfield, thank God, who cares?
And I was like,
are you sure? You sure about that? Are you sure about that?
It's like, now that you go back to it, you're like, the wording, Indiana Jones is not one of those 4.
Yeah.
Later on, though, we've got more coming. That's what that meant, basically.
Be a 5th game.
There's a 5th game, 6th game, 7th game. It's like, fucking hell, I should have known.
So slippery.
So slippery, bruv. So slippery, speaks out both sides of his mouth all the time.
So slippery.
I don't know why I believed anything he ever said.
In a weird way, I kind of respect him.
Yeah.
Because that's a serious talent, to be able to say literally nothing with all those words, but sound like you said something. Right. Most people just say nonsense.
Yeah.
But he manages to say like full sentences that mean a thing at the time and also cover him in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Like it's actually genuinely impressive.
Whoever's trained him, or if it's all him, the same person has trained Sarah Bond as well, the person who's clearly going to succeed him, because she did exactly the same thing. They were like asking, they were going, I think it was CNN or something like that, did a proper big interview and whatnot, and was asking about games everywhere, whatever they were asking. And she said about 45 seconds of words that meant absolutely nothing. And I was like, what the fuck was just said here? And I was like, they got the same coach. Or maybe Phil Spencer is teaching her.
Right, could well be. It's the worst thing, and I hate, it's not like a pat myself on the back, I'm right, but they have all of these IPs.
Yeah.
They had all these studios that could make award-winning games. And then you see like articles about Croc being remade or remastered or something, right? And everybody's like, yeah, we want that. They've got banned. They own Rare.
Yeah.
They have those games. And the thing about those games is they reach so much of an audience. They reach kids today. They reach us who were kids when we originally played it. And they reach older people who just want something a bit chill to play.
Yeah.
They reach most of the market, except for hardcore games that only want to play COD or Candy Crush, right? Except for those.
Yeah.
And even a lot of them overlap. You got 3 games in Banjo-Kazooie. Every single time Spyro came out, it did really well. Crash Bandicoot came out, did really well. Croc, there's the audience. There's the proof, there's the audience.
People as well don't realize how the reason why there's so many like kid-friendly stuff and people try and gear stuff towards kid-friendly, like Netflix want a kid-friendly thing to go like with Rebel Moon, for example, is because you don't realize how much content gets consumed by kids.
Yeah.
Like you could just go to any child video on YouTube. Billions millions of views on those things because people constantly putting those on for their kids to watch. People, and video games as well. If you ever go look at, like, that's why Nintendo sells millions of their first party games, because they are geared towards a younger audience. And parents will just buy them this game, and
it's safe.
Exactly, because they know they're like, Nintendo won't do anything like that.
My kid's not going to be cutting off someone's head.
Exactly.
So
that's why McDonald's is so successful, because they have this there's a happy place for kids, Happy Meal, blah blah blah. It's that there's such a market. That's why everybody wants to tap into those things.
Yeah, it's easy, it's convenient, and it's
you're going to be making tons of money.
Like, it may not be good quality with McDonald's, but like known quality, known price, known entity, so you can do it. You can be consistently safe, that you know what you're getting.
And then we get the report that I tagged you in, where Microsoft, when they bought Activision and everything like that, there were and Rare as well. When they bought all the studios, there were projects in production that they cancelled, and I was like,
"Don't."
You can't afford to do that, bro.
You can't consistently. I have to say, it's not like as a conspiracy theorist, but it feels like accidentally Xbox should have made a couple of correct decisions, and they have batted 1,000 getting them all wrong.
So strange.
Like, every single decision has been incorrect, all of them.
It needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. There's two things in my life I always said that need to be studied. One of them is
what women actually want.
I mean, do we care? That's the thing.
Good point.
There you go.
It's eat or don't.
Exactly. The two things that need to be studied is, one, the downfall of WB.
Yes.
How they mess things up. How removing 30 minutes from Batman vs Superman caused all of this mess afterwards. I really want to have...
That's the knock-on effect, isn't it? That's the ripple.
The domino that just made it all go.
That's I want to know flapping its wings.
All the things in the background. I need inside accounts of people that work there, people who were in a meeting that heard the nonsense that was going on, all that stuff. Candid conversations.
What if we just fuck the fans over?
Right?
So and see if they still give us our money.
What do they want? No, let's not do that. And then I need to see the downfall of Xbox as well. I need to have all those candid conversations. How is it that Don Matrick saying, well, we've got another console that doesn't connect to the internet, buy an Xbox 360. How did that cause the entire downfall of Xbox? I need to know that documentary.
I think that's the moment. That's the ripple in the pond. I agree, by the way. That's Genesis for the worst 2 generations of consoles we've ever experienced.
Coming up on 3rd.
Yeah. That's
insane. And those are the 2 things I need to see in my lifetime. If I'm 80 years old, I'll wait for it.
Because on paper, everything's stacked correctly. You have an unlimited check.
Yeah.
Just blank check. Buy whatever you need, which we've seen.
Yeah.
Right? Activision Blizzard. They could buy whatever they want. Obviously, unlimited marketing budget. We see ads for Game Pass that doesn't make money constantly.
Yeah.
They had the production wing. They had the IPs. They had the talent. Sorry, guys. No one can say Xbox doesn't have the talent.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they have the talent in the development side of things. They have the talent in the tech side of things. Whatever is going on is specific decision-making direction.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's bad. Like, if the objective is to run the company into the ground without giving up, if the objective is to be defeated,
could be, right?
then they are sticking to plan.
Yeah.
So I don't actually want to call it bad management, because even bad managers accidentally have wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
you'd think they'd have some wins somewhere.
Yeah. So it's I really would like to know, because it is sad, and I do think PlayStation will get lazy without competition. And Xbox has some incredible IPs under them.
We've already seen knock-on effects of PlayStation being lazy. I mean, they were the kings of showcases.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, when was the last time we had a fucking state of play?
When was the last time that was good?
Right, anything that was good.
Yeah.
We've had so many lackluster state of plays, so many lackluster showcases that they've done, like the new ones where it's all online.
Yeah, well, what else are you going to play?
Exactly, and it's because we just don't have any. You don't have a choice.
The opposite is true, where
it's the only thing they're holding on to is that they did. It's been a little bit of time. Don't get me wrong. They have been giving us some good games. That's the only thing they're holding on to, and that's all we really need as gamers. But
like, the opposite is true, where Phil Spencer said no one's selling their PlayStation to buy an Xbox. that opposite side is, where else are you going to go?
Yeah.
Like, we can give you crappy state of plays because the only place to be is on PlayStation is a PS5.
Just wish they didn't do that. I wish they were decent, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of, actually, there's one more thing before I say that, actually. They also showed off a teaser, cinematic trailer of Mafia, the Old Country, which looks quite cool, actually.
Yeah.
I've never played a proper Mafia game.
Me neither.
But the aesthetic is just gorgeous, and I would love to play an updated, like brand new Mafia game. I think that looks quite cool.
A bunch of the guys on like the Discord and stuff, they all say Mafia. The Mafia series are fantastic. So yeah, I could definitely see it.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that. Apparently we're going to get more details on that this December, which I'm guessing is going to be at the Game Awards.
Fingers crossed.
How it goes. All right. And now the thing that I was going to say about consoles, the PlayStation 5 Pro, this is the final topic.
Yep.
PlayStation 5 Pro has been rumored to be coming out for the longest time.
Yeah.
We haven't heard a peep about it. We've had numerous reports that devs have it in their hands. In fact, Hideo Kojima had a picture the other day of him playing Death Stranding 2, like working out stuff and whatnot. And there was a towel over some console. And we're like...
Right. Definitely not the PS5 Pro, guys. Yeah.
And you know the console under there is fighting for its life. It's like
that one guy. It's like, my PS5 keeps overheating. It's in a box. You put it in a casket, mate. Of course it's dying. Like, you literally buried it alive.
I'm dying. Help, please. But there has been a picture drawn by an illustrator based on someone who has actually seen the PlayStation 5 Pro.
Is this like a police sketch artist's?
It literally ridiculous. It literally is. But I mean, the thing is that it looks a lot like the current slim model of the PlayStation 5.
That's really disappointing. I was just about to say, I want it to be unhinged.
Yeah, if it was based off of nothing you've ever seen before, then you know it's going to look crazy.
Like, you shark fin design. That's the console I want. By the way, Xbox, if you're listening, make the Xbox 2, whatever you're going to call the next one, make it unhinged.
They're
not going to make another console.
They're not going to make another console. Or they claim that they're not out of the console business, but if they're not selling anything, then what the fuck are they going to do? Anyway.
Make some good games, make an unhinged console. Oh, that's...
It just looks like the new PS5 Slim.
Also, I love how we have an artist sketch. What you did is pinch the bottom. Shut the fuck up. That's ridiculous.
It just looks like the PlayStation 5 Slim. Yeah. It does look like from this sketch that it's going to follow the PlayStation 5 Slim models, where it comes as standard with no disc drive, and then you buy the disc drive and slap it on the side. At the time, I didn't understand why they were doing it, but when it comes from a fresh console, okay, I get what it is.
I like the idea of like, here's the console. It's intended to be digital only. We know that you own games, so you can actually, if you still want to play those games, fine. You slap this on the side. And that feels to me like the Game Boy Light magnifier, printer, camera, where you have it all tacked on. Your Game Boy's like this big. Like, it looks like a thrown together Transformer sort of thing. Which I like that. That's fine. I don't mind,
Anyway, that's that. Apparently, we're going to get a State of Play in September.
Cool.
Which we're just entering now.
Like I said, I haven't been excited for one. Let me rephrase that. There hasn't been one that I've turned up and gone, man, I'm so glad I was here to see it live.
Yeah.
So that's what I need. Not need, but I would like it. Because they have us in a bit of a catch-22. Where else are you going to go? I mean, I'm also on PC. So indies is where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
But I want to play AAAs. That's what I like. I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. See what I did there?
He's a lad.
Branding genius.
Like, if you need any more advice, anyone, feel free
that
to
one's
call
free,
us.
Sony. The rest of them, though,
they cost.
I want to play those games. Yeah. Those are games I like. Also, because they have those incredibly engaging, interesting intro scenes.
That's the part that gets you hooked.
Right.
If only other people understood that.
You were going to say something, and then you were like, oh no, there's one more article first.
No, I said Mafia was the
thing.
Cool. So, yeah, PlayStation 5 Pro. We should be getting that soon. Honestly, I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate, so I haven't touched my PlayStation, which is the thing. But I know that when the next Ghost of Tsushima 2, or Ghost of
Tsushima.
Ghost Tsushima, my apologies, the branding genius of it. When that comes out, when the next Spider-Man game comes out, when the next God of War game comes out, when the next all the 1887 comes out.
Which?
When two days gone.
Are you there? You doing it?
I did it.
I'm flying, Jack. You're doing it.
I'm flying.
I love that we both doing it. Such dickheads.
I'm flying, Jack.
You're doing it, Peter. You believe.
I believed.
Oh my God, so dumb. But you're right.
There you go.
You're right.
Yes, when those come out, I know I'll be back on it.
Also, it has been enough time. I probably would play an Order 1886 to Order 1887.
Did I mention it on here, or did I mention it to someone else? Radio Dawn Studios, the guys who made it, Order 1886. Well, I think I did mention it on here, but I'll go over it
I can't
quickly.
remember. So it's the first time I'm hearing it.
First time you're
as far
hearing
as
it.
I can tell.
They got sold to Meta to make like VR games and stuff like that. And apparently, now that they've been closed down since then. They made like a couple of games. Now Facebook has closed them down. And because they closed down, the floodgates open, they let out information. Apparently, at the point they were sold to Facebook, they were actually pitching ideas for the Order 1887. And apparently it was like, obviously they say it was amazing and stuff like that. And it took all the criticisms on board. And I was like...
That's sad news, isn't it?
Why?
That's probably sad news.
I could have done without you telling me that.
I did need to know that.
I didn't need to know.
Yeah, that's sad. That does suck.
Anyway, bro, that's all the stories we have today.
Thank you for Patreon /Conbrosations. Our Super Bros.
Krusty Right Nut. Shows his Krusty Right Nut, Krusty Left Nut. Is it right or left?
You're the one that reads it. All I know is...
Left. It's Left Nut.
All I know is it makes me depressed.
Shebs is Krusty Left Nut.
We do appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
I didn't forget you. Remember that.
I mean...
I would never forget you.
I don't think that remembering at the last second qualifies as remembering.
First of all...
How dare you?
Miss me with that factual shit. Right?
Oh, shit. I was going to go to the side and you move to that way and then you go here. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you. If you want to hear some spicy stuff, as Shep says, you can head over to our other channel, Conversations After Dark, which we're going to record right now. And there's some great stories for you. You're going to enjoy it. So, watch Shep's Wish He Was Not Alive, which is most days, but...
It is true.
Yeah. And I'm right there with you. Don't worry about it.
What? Do you know, I don't want to answer that question. I don't want to know if you want...
This is a cry for help, goddammit. Oh.
Right. Is that a cry for help or... Do you know what? Suffer in silence.
Suffer in silence is probably the best way. It's probably the best idea. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one. And I hope you guys enjoy some gaming.
Yeah, we're out. Bye. Baldur's Gate 3 for me, to be honest. And then WoW immediately after. I don't sleep anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, why would you want to sleep? Fuck that shit. You could be kissing Shadowheart.
Sleep's for losers. I did romance her. My first one was Karlach, and then I'm now doing a Lae'zel romance. And the worst thing is, the second Karlach starts talking, I start falling in love again. So I was like, she's not allowed in the party. I'm like, not doing it. She's not allowed. A little bit of me was like, maybe we should kill her. Because I can't...
Take away the temptation.
I can't resist her.
Yeah.
There's just something about her writing. And like, you come to camp, she's there doing like a little dance. And like, you're right, soldier. Like, no, I'm in love with you. Stop.
No.
Stop it. Stop. Karlach, stop.
I felt really bad for rejecting Lae'zel. Because she came on to me one time.
Yeah.
And it was right in the middle before I'd start romancing Shadowheart. And she was nice. And I was like, oh, she's been quite forward. I think I might go for this because I kind of dig it. And we had one sort of like night talking with each other and whatnot. I think we might have actually slept together one time. Yeah. But because she was so forward, I was like, oh, she's going to treat it as like just a one-time thing and whatnot. but she kept pursuing me afterwards and was quite like, for her standards, quite complimentary. She was like, yes, my body desires your body. Your body's fantastic. And I was like,
you're strong and worthy of my respect, and I desire you. And I like that forward.
And I was like, but I'm already going for Shadow. So I was like, look, this was a one-time thing. It was a big mistake. And she was like, I'm very disappointed in you. And I was like, don't be disappointed in me. Now I want to sleep with you more.
I will say, so I have stayed away from all things Baldur's Gate, even now, because I still want to change some options and see what I get. My read on Lae'zel is that actually she's a really sweet character. She's just grown up in a very... You'll find out more.
She's basically raised by generals, basically.
Yeah, she's been raised up in a military lifestyle of like... I mean, she mentions it a few times, like she had to kill her clutch or something like that, like, and that was expected and normal. And then she's infected by like her culture's worst enemy. Imagine you had Hitler living in your head, who's going to like take over your body and you'll be a Hitler. Like that's, I mean, pros and cons, but like both ways are great.
I was going to say.
But like that's all of what's happening to her. And she's in a totally different planet, a different realm of existence, I think, surrounded by people she doesn't know. Like I think she's just terribly scared. And like that's why I think as well she, whenever you do something that's like not violent, but just addresses problems, I think she likes it because that's how she's been raised. And because she is strong, it's a very easy, very quick way to just solve a problem and get it out of, so you don't have to worry about it, leave no enemies behind you sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think, and I don't know, I'm like halfway through Act 1, barely. I haven't even defeated the Goblin Camp. But I think by like Act 2, Act 3, Lae'zel probably becomes quite sweet.
I think
where
so.
she like finally gets to trust you and lets down those barriers.
Sounds
I'm
good.
hoping, because that's my read on her, but I'm usually pretty close to the mark with this stuff, so I'm fairly confident, but I've been wrong in the past.
Yeah.
And the writing's so good. The writing's so good. So, yeah, we'll have to see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We're still recording.
Are we? Or shit?
Yeah, we just started chatting.
Well, that's the point of the podcast, isn't it?
It's true. That's a good point.
That is the point. Bye!